Do companies benefit from you investing in them? Well, the answer is yes, they do, but they might not benefit in the way that you may be thinking of. So when you buy a stock, the money's not going to that company. When you buy stock, it's usually from the person selling it, the person who previously owned that stock, which is rarely the company itself. So in this video, I want to take you through how exactly companies do benefit from you investing in them, so that you'd be better placed to make a decision as to which companies you want to invest in or whether you want to invest at all. As always, an early thumbs up always helps. It helps tell YouTube to push this video out to more people and that you liked it, so I would greatly appreciate that. But with that said, on with the video. So I think first it's really important to understand what exactly happens when you buy a stock. And as I said earlier, it's about a buyer and a seller agreeing on a price for a slice of a company. So if you're not familiar with what a stock is exactly, I've made a video to explain that, which I'll put on screen here. So when you're buying a stock, you are giving money to the person who previously owned that stock in order to own it. And that's all that's happening. However, the way companies benefit from this is what it does to the stock price. So the way it affects the stock price is that really the stock market is a system of supply and demand. So if you are buying a stock, you are helping to elevate the stock price because you are providing demand for that stock. If demand is higher than supply, then the stock price will go up. And similarly, if supply is higher than demand, then the stock price will go down. It's simple supply and demand. So if you are buying, particularly if you're then buying and holding, not only are you increasing demand when you're buying the stock, but then by holding, you're decreasing the supply, both of which help to prop up companies' stock price. Now, of course, as sort of individual small-scale investors, this isn't going to have a massive effect when you're just talking about one person. But nevertheless, this is sort of the effect of buying a stock and what the implications would be. Right, let's change the angle, keep the video interesting. So how does this benefit the company? A stock is not the same as the company itself. They're very different things. This is a really important differentiation to make. Nevertheless, a company itself does benefit from an elevated stock price, and it does this in a number of ways. First of all, if a company wants to raise money, a common way of doing that is by selling off some of the stock that the company itself owns. So if this stock is valued very highly, then the company is able to raise more capital, more money, more easily. Tesla did this very recently when the stock price went up, and it meant that they increased their cash reserves, which decreased the risk of the company, but also meant that they have cash on hand to invest in building new factories, for example, or investing in infrastructure, whatever the business would want to do to progress. Another way that an elevated stock price benefits a company is that it reduces the risk of a kind of takeover by someone just buying out loads of the stock, because it's going to increase the value of that stock. It's going to increase the amount of money required to do something like that. And another reason that an elevated stock price would help a company is a sort of positive press. If a stock is doing well, then the media will hype it up, and it might lead people to think that the company itself is doing very well, even though, as I mentioned before, a company and a stock are very different things. If a company is doing well and it's a good company, you would expect over the long term for the stock to go up to match that. However, this doesn't always happen. It's not always the case in any given moment in time. If a company is doing really well, or perhaps has had a really good earnings report, it doesn't mean that the stock price is going to go up. And the flip side of that is true as well. If a company is doing badly, the stock price can still be going up. And lastly, an elevated stock price can benefit the executives at that company, because pay packages they have might be tied to the stock price. As another example, Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, his pay packet is linked to the Tesla stock price. And so he got very handsomely rewarded because the Tesla stock is doing so well. As an aside, if you're interested in sort of socially conscious, socially responsible ways of investing, you might want to check out something called ECG funds. There's a guy called Lewis over at IQ Investing who made a really nice summary of this sort of way of investing and everything that I think you might want to know if you're interested in something like that. So do definitely check that out. I'll leave a link in the description down below. But thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please consider subscribing for more videos like this, and remember to leave me a like down below if you haven't already. Thank you very much and have a nice day.